Well, hello there, and welcome everyone to the Chassis Variant Series with myself, Critical Rocket, and here we are with the one and only Hunchback 6S, yes. This is a much later design of the 6S. I'm assuming it's a Steiner build, possibly from the North Storm mech factory, based on the world of Loxley and the Lyran space. This one is a pretty simple build. It's two ER mediums, one in each arm, SRM6 in the left torso, and an LB20 in the right. Now, on tabletop, this is meant to have a XL300 engine, but canny people will already be saying, but you can't fit an LB20 with a XL engine. That's the same problem I ran up to, except for when you find out that, sadly, in MechWarrior Online, you can't split critical slots, which you can do with certain builds on tabletop. The very first one, I believe, although someone might be able to correct me on this one, but I believe the very first mech to ever do split critical space was the King Crab, which had its AC-20s split between the arms and the side torsos. It has happened with other mechs in the past. This is a variant that's an example of it. It's pretty rare, but it does happen occasionally, where basically some rules are created to allow slight bending of specific builds that are required. So, yes, you can't run this with the 300 XL. It's probably for the best because it's a Hunchback, obviously, but you can run it with a standard engine. It will run you at half decent speed. It's low end heavy, like 60 tonner heavy type speed, but you are packing an LB20, so it's not all bad. It's a pretty solid build. It's right up my alley. It's very simple. 3 weapon groups. It lets you focus on doing the good stuff, the shooting, and it can't really overheat. It's not brilliant for ammunition for the LB20. I mean, this only has a single ton of ammo for the SRM6, and the LB20 has 2 tons, so you're not getting a huge amount of shots. Probably a little bit messing around with the build can get you it. The biggest hurdle that you're overcoming if you did want to make this version of the Hunchback is you would have to buy, I believe, the Gridiron. It's the only version that has the combination of hardpoints in MechWarrior Online, so yes, I've built this on the Gridiron, as you probably see in the bottom left. I really enjoy it though. If you have the Gridiron, give it a go. I think it's much better than the Gauss version anyway. It's kind of interesting that the Gridiron kind of comes with this build preset. Just replace the Gauss rifle and the 2 medium lasers, and you can obviously drop the small laser. It doesn't come with that as far as I'm aware. I didn't actually check record sheets for this one, since I'm pretty sure the Sana readout is correct on this one. But if it's supposed to have a small laser, then my apologies for that. It's supposed to have a small laser, but it's virtually the build. And yeah, it's pretty damn fun. I enjoyed this one a lot. The match was pure NASCAR. It was just run around a big circle and kill the guys who are slow, or the guys who don't realise we're all running around in a big circle. We're having a big old hoedown in the middle of the map. As it's Canyon Network, it's famous for that particular thing. So yeah, the other Hunchback variants, which there are no shortage of, unfortunately couldn't do. There's a good number of them that involve ECM, which I was surprised about. Looking into it later on, there's several variants that use Guardian ECM suites, and there's also a few that use jump jets, and a few that use weapons like MMLs, which are multiple missile launchers, basically the Insphere version of ATM launchers, and a few other bits and pieces like that. So yeah, couldn't do anything of that. The enigmatic Hunchback 2 is the only one that I haven't really properly researched yet. It's casually mentioned in well, not records, technical readout 3055 or 3058. The one that has the readout for the Hunchback 2C mentions that the Hunchback 2C is based on the Star League era Hunchback 2, but very little is ever written about it as far as I can tell. Someone may have stated it, but I'm not sure if it's canon or not, as I was informed by Tigger that certain record sheets, the unabridged ones, are variants that were made by fans that eventually become canon, so I'm not quite sure what the status is of the enigmatic Hunchback 2. I'd be really interested in finding out what the build is, because that's a different one. I mean, is that suggesting it had 2 AC-20s or something like that along those lines? I don't know. It's an odd one. Interesting though. But yeah, all the other variants I couldn't build, but I was glad I could make this one at least, because the Hunchback definitely deserves its place in the old chassis variant, extra edition, addendum, other variants bit of the series thing. Oh Christ, I'm going to hate going through the... One day I'm going to have to go through the playlist, aren't I? I'm going to have to drag, because you can't have like a grid layout on YouTube. You can drag the video all the way up to the top. Click, drag, drop, drag, drop, drag. I mean, that could take... It's good. I'm going to have to set aside some time, I think, to do that one. Definitely. Other than that, this poor commando at the end, Jesus, he's got no weapons left. I think he's got a laser AMS. The guy's had all his limbs torn off him. By the time I get there, I get in for a scratch just for the assist at the end. Everyone's surrounding him. Poor little commando, eh? Legged and then just torn apart. Poor bugger. But yeah, I'd run out of LB20 ammo, and yeah, it was a bloody good fight though. I enjoyed it. That was a first take as well, which is I was rather proud of. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope we have a good week. Obviously, it's another single one, but what can you do when you haven't got any variants to do? So next week, I believe there will be another 50 tonner. If not, we'll be jumping to the 55 tonners, which we'll go with clans. But until then, have a good one all. Thanks for watching. Bye.